you do. If you've got the family in the car, don't click on the happy endings button. Where is the applause button? This week on That Car Show, Ryan not only feels an invisible touch when driving a Genesis, but he finds out that Jesus does love him. Lindsay talks about
When did that start?
cars she sees. It's another song from Genesis, isn't it?
Oh.
Come on. God. Amateurs that I have to work with. Lindsay sees random Japanese cars on the freeway in Seattle, including the Toyota Will. I talk a bit about getting license plates in California. I am finally legal. We talk a little bit about the prices of Supras and how they seem to have gone out of perspective or gone out of control. We give you a few life hacks when it comes to Car Week, what you can do on a relative budget. That and a whole lot more. Tune in, relax, enjoy. It's That Car Show.
So I had this gym teacher at Belzer Middle School in Indianapolis, Indiana. His name was Mr. Bell, I do believe. I remember him very, very well. He used to wear those coach shorts, I think made by a company called Bike. And they were these nylon things that were way too short. He used to wear the striped tube socks, and he sounded like a frog. And he had this shiny bald head, little guy, powerful little man. But I had never heard the phrase circular file before for a trash can. And I remember coming in late one day with like a pass, I don't know, doctor's appointment or something. And he said, throw it in the circular file. And I thought that was like the funniest. Try that again. Throw that into the circular file. And I just thought that was like the funniest thing I'd ever heard.
Well, and do you only I'm sure you only hear it in that voice now for the rest of your life.
That's it. So whenever I hear that oh so clever phrase, I think of Mr. Bell.
Right back to middle school PE. There
He
you
was
go.
an old school. Like we climbed ropes in that class. No medicine balls, but
That's crazy.
you guys ever go to a gym, like an old gym, and they have those bars on the wall, like those dowels? You ever seen that?
Oh.
My
No?
primary school did.
Yeah. What the hell are those, Dan?
The ones that we had at primary school came out of the wall. They kind of were fixed to the wall. And
Yeah,
they
yeah,
came
yeah,
out.
yeah. Like almost like drying racks or something.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you would for climbing, and then the ropes and
Oh, okay.
all that crap.
They were
Drying
seemed
racks
highly
up the
underutilized.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's That Car Show. What's up?
It is. How are you guys?
It's good. It's raining here. What about there?
I know. It sounds like you're having a bit of a tornado, typhoon, hail smorgasbord.
We live in this weird strip where nothing touches us, knock on wood. It always goes north or south. And so once again, it seemed to bypass us. But I've got this giant car. Thank you, Genesis USA.
Woo-hoo! It
I've
happened.
got a G90. It's a car I hardly knew existed. I'm writing an article for Autoblog about can a family ... sedan ? And that everyone goes and immediately shops a crossover, an SUV or whatever.
Right.
And I was kind of thinking, well, maybe I'll get a mid-size sedan, a typical mid-size sedan. And then this thing shows up, and had I done my research, I would have known. Guys, this thing, I'm not even sure it would fit in my garage, and I don't have a small garage. The car is giant. You can
It's
you park it in.
massive.
It's massive. It is like, do you remember like a 750 IL of yore, right? Like the extended wheelbase, So this is, 2025. I don't know. You can probably see it behind me, behind the lawnmower there. G90. It's a hell of a thing. It's got a 3.5 liter 6-cylinder that is twin turbocharged, and I think also has an electric supercharger. So it's
la la.
400 horsepower and change, but it's also a hell of a lot of car to move around.
Is it quick? Could you remake Ronin with it?
See, now the thing is, it's probably faster than anything in that movie, right? It's
Yeah.
0 to 60 in 5.9, but it just doesn't feel fast. I mean, driving the Polestar, right, where it's quick off the line, right? It's just a different thing. You get used to that. This is not that. It's a bit of a hesitation, but it's plenty power. Plenty powerful.
Do you feel like it's turbo lag? Do you feel like it's the weight
A little
of the car?
bit.
Like,
I think it's probably got a 10 or 12 speed transmission, and it's got auto stop too. So, which I finally figured out how to turn off. But guys, it has a chauffeur mode, and this is not a driver's car. This is a passenger car. And I was trying to think how many passenger cars like this exist, right, outside of like the upper echelons of Rolls-Royce, Bentley, Maybach. Yeah, this is a budget Maybach, and I think that is the best way. I've heard it referred to as a budget Rolls-Royce. No, this is a budget Maybach. It is,
and it has that volume too.
Volume. Yeah, it goes to 11.
Yeah, physically, literally, and figuratively.
It's in a beautiful white matte finish, which I don't know how you keep that nice, but I'm sure there are ways. And I was out driving it today, and I can tell you a little bit more about it because there's so much to share. But I saw a car that I did a triple take. Do you know the movie Superfly? It's like this 70s blaxploitation. It's a pimp car, basically, and I don't like the term, but the movie was about a pimp. And he drove a car that I think was a Lincoln or a Cadillac of its era, and you'd know it if you saw one. Do you remember the Excalibur cars that people drove, right? The neoclassics, right? This was kind of like that, but built on one of those 70s cars and retains a little more of that sort of square-bodied shape. But it has these headlights that I can't really describe. If I get off my butt later when I edit this, I'll put a picture in here. But it's got these giant headlights that sort of have these metal bars that come in almost like a lantern in there.
Or like an aircraft plane, like a really old aircraft plane light.
Yeah. It's like they should be gas lanterns or something. And they're giant, and it looks like Benjamin Button's spectacles shining back. Yeah, it's an odd thing. And I wanted to get a picture of the Genesis next to this pimp mobile because it would have been perfect. It was black. It had all the chrome. I don't know who was driving it. I don't know what possesses someone to obtain such a vehicle. And it was this beautiful day, and I guess he was just out driving it like I was driving.
So many questions.
So many questions.
I want to know everything.
I so wanted to get the cars next to each other. I would have had a great excuse.
And get the story, Get
the story, But not that this is a pimp car, but it is pimped out. It's got everything. It's the rear seats in the back lie flat, much like a Maybach, but not a 57, in the old school Maybach parlance, like the 62, right? It's got that, it's got a screen. The screen in the back overrides the stereo and air conditioning controls for the front. So that tells you who the car is for.
Who's the boss, right?
Who's the boss? And so far it's been my daughter, who I've been shuttling around just for fun.
Does it massage the seats? Do you get like a nice massage?
Oh my God, in all four seats. And it's a good massage. I got my biannual mani-pedi earlier today, and they put you in that terrible massage seat that every time I turn it off, the lady turned it back on. I'm like, stop. It's hurting me. This is not that. This feels good, and you can, dial it in. It's all four seats. It's got power shades on all the windows in the back. It's got dual sunroofs. It's got a Bang & Olufsen stereo. It's got, in lieu of wood, it's got, I think it's like pressed carbon fiber or molded carbon fiber, like a Lamborghini, right? Where it's almost this camouflage. It is. It's. I don't know. It's not really my style, but it is a hell of a thing to drive around for a week. And
what does that cost? Wait, how much does that cost?
So it starts at $99,500. So I was shocked because I think that's more than a 7 Series starts at. I don't know what an S-Class is at these days, and I haven't driven either one of those in years. So I don't know that the value proposition is there. I think the previous generation started at 70 or 75, and that makes sense, right? It's got big, beautiful wheels, but I don't think it has anything special in the suspension. Maybe I'm wrong. One thing it seems to do is it seems to lift its front end when you slow down for like a dip in the road or something, which is cool. Or it just hasn't managed to scrape yet. Hell of a thing. It's got a brown leather interior. It is just 70s. It smells good. It's It is something. It is what you'd want to take three friends like on a trip from like LA to New York in or something. And to that,
Or it's like the modern Swingers, like if you're going to remake Swingers today.
Yeah, I want someone to drive me in the back, right? Like I want, with a couple buddies or whatever. I'm taking my daughter, my wife and my daughter's friend to a concert tomorrow night, and I'm going to drop them off like I'm,
yeah, you are.
a Lyft black car. Pumping AJR, and if you know the band AJR,
nice.
That's what will be on the soundtrack. But anyway, thank you, Genesis USA Drive Shop, because it's a fun car and it is growing on me. This happens a lot. You get a car, not so sure about it after a day or two. You don't want to give the thing back. But I bet when I get back in my GT4, it's going to seem like the quickest, tiniest, raciest little thing ever, because this is very much on the other end of the spectrum. Have either one of you had any experience with Genesis or cars like this?
I have sat in a Maybach, like a new Maybach, and it was remarkable. And like you said, I mean, it's just very passenger oriented, as we all know. And I saw the Genesis that you have. I saw 3 of them in the parking out in the field at Le Mans.
Right.
And I saw them from far away, and I was like, "What is that?" Because it was enough. It was Maybach-esque enough, but I'm like, I knew it wasn't a Maybach, but I'm like, what is it? It's giant, like it's just voluminous, and definitely, like it drew me in. I'm like, I have to go see what this is. It was not the direction I needed to be going. Yeah, exactly. It was like the homing beacon. Yeah. So I haven't driven them, but fascinating because it was enough like a Maybach that we're like, what's going on? But it's a Genesis.
Yeah.
And we knew it was brand new. So it's really interesting to hear what it's like to actually experience.
Yeah. And maybe this makes more sense as a car, right? If I imagine this was created for like Korean executives or something, and they just decided, hey, we'll sell some in the States and see if it hits. Right. I don't think I've ever seen one on the road. But
not yet. But yeah, I mean, it's an interesting proposition for Genesis because they were spun out into their own brand, just in the last couple of years as the more luxury brand. So it makes sense that they would sort of like dip their toe in something like this. But yeah, I mean, we're all used to Maybach and we sort of understand what that means.
Yeah.
So to try and introduce something that's like relatively competitive, obviously much more affordable, but it'll be interesting to see how this unfolds and whether it does find an audience in the States.
Yes. I think it probably shares an audience with, what is it, the Crown sedan? Not the U.S. one, but the one that they sell in Japan, right, with the lacy curtains and all that,
But this is a much more modern option.
Yes.
That styling, does look a little dated,
even the new one,
unique as it is. So this could be a different solution or different option for somebody who wants that but doesn't really care for that styling.
It's that vibe. Every time you get in that car, it's Suntory time. I mean, it is that vibe. It is swanky Asian businesswoman car. But it begs, we've talked about this a lot, but what is luxury in 2025, right? This is throwing everything. It's like that SNL skit about the nightclubs, right? Like this club has little people on unicycles, and like this car has everything that you think is luxury, right? Past and present and future, right? Exactly. I'm still discovering little things you can do. Like I can open the back doors from the front seat by pressing a button, right? It's again, probably an umbrella in the door or something.
I was going to say, are there umbrellas in the doors? I'm excited for your article then, because you'll be like, here are the quirks and features of.
Yeah. So, should be an easy one.
So it starts at $99,500.
Yes.
That's the base without any options. Like, what is the one that you're driving retail for?
I've got to pull the Monroney sticker, but I know it starts at $99,500. There is a smaller engine, or at least one that's less complex, that has a little bit less power, and I think that one may start a little bit less. But if you are, I don't know if you want to be driven, you don't have many options, right? This would be one.
Yeah.
As a driver's car, it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's relatively quick. It stops well, but it's probably not what I would choose to drive myself. I don't know that there's a short wheelbase version or a sporty version necessarily. It's kind of everything that I don't look for in a car, but it's also kind of amazing. And, as I get older and wearier and, I guess my priorities change, I assume cars like this will be more appealing or not. I don't know. It's a great car.
Right.
It's a hell of a lot of fun for a week. We're going to do fun family things in it. We're going to write about it. And, I mean, it's a hell of a thing. It's a hell of a thing.
Well, enjoy the experience, I mean, and that's kind of the fun of getting to try different cars is you get to try it on and you don't have to live with it if you decide it's not for you.
I will say I've had 2 people come up to me as the car was parked in front of the house and said, "Nice car." I don't know that they know what it is.
Right.
They probably see the wing thing and think it's a Bentley, honestly, or something, right? But no one's ever said shit about the GT40 right? Or the Polestar. But I've had 2 people in 2 days comment on how much they like the Genesis. So
Wow.
But next time I'll ask them, do you know what it is? Or do you know, is this... No, I mean, it's just, I don't know what...
Yeah.
Like, I didn't really know that this car existed. It was not on my radar. Sure, the G70 or the, sedan or the SUV, the GX70 or, whatever. But
You should make some bullshit up. You should tell them it's a prototype Bentley and they're not allowed to take any pictures of it. And it's just wearing a Genesis badge so no one realizes and see how far that story goes.
I've done things like that, Dan. So maybe when we record next, I'll have a story for you.
Expect a phone call from Bentley PR.
Cease and desist.
Yeah.
Yeah. How far can you take it before it's bullshit?
Exactly.
Like kind of like that letter, that Coldplay guy letter that you wrote, where I thought it was pretty real until he quoted Coldplay.
The lyrics.
Yeah. Which, by the way, you can't see this, you listeners and viewers, but, much like a Zoom call when we record this, it's on a platform called Riverside. I'm Ryan Barkey. I see Lindsay Jesh, and then there's a Chris Martin there to my left.
Just a tribute to last week's episode. But presumably, will people see it if they watch on YouTube? Or does it disappear?
Yeah. I'll put some pictures in there.
No, I mean the names. Do the names disappear?
Oh, I believe they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, they'll see the car. They won't see Chris Martin.
But I do love the tribute to the worldwide hero. I mean, it's
yeah.
not often that someone unites the entire world.
Yeah.
So
that the incident of recent days has sent Chris Martin into a tailspin. Kidding.
This is turning into a Coldplay podcast.
It's turning into a bullying session, which takes my sad attempt at a segue
Speaking of bullying.
This article. Jalopnik, it's no auto blog, but occasionally they'll have a good article.
Get there one day.
It's certainly no drive, but or certainly
Somebody's
no the
trying
drive.
to start a battle of the.
We love Jalopnik. Yeah, we like Jalopnik. And I think that's where we saw the article. And I guess there's some legislation in play in Tennessee, of all places. Now, that would not be at the top of my list of the states that would be implementing anti-bullying legislation.
Yeah.
But basically, if you're a kid and you're a dick, they can take your driver's license away. If you are found cyberbullying, bullying someone in the classroom, or just generally being a jerk, they can take your driver's license away. And sounds okay to me. What do you guys think? Can we extend this to adults?
Right. Well, what I think is so interesting too is I'm really curious to see if it gets passed in some form, because we all know a lot of these go through, multiple iterations and they have to go through multiple votes and whatever.
Yes.
If it does get put into law, I'll be really curious to see how often it's actually applied, like how often they have a chance to apply it.
Right. How do you
Because
quantify
you have
that?
to actually be impacted and have your license taken away, you have to be convicted of bullying in court. So I'm curious, how often does that actually happen where it makes it to that level? But I wonder if, even if somebody isn't officially convicted and doesn't officially lose their license, will the threat of this be enough to maybe keep a few more people, help them make nicer choices and treat each other better?
Yeah.
And this wasn't specific to automotive bullying, right? I maybe have misread.
Oh, no. Yeah, the punishment would be automotive. But bullying,
I thought it was like tailgating someone or flipping them off if you undertake or, It's not automotive bullying. It's any bullying.
Yeah, so does that venture too close to sort of like thought policing? Like, I don't know. But
I don't know. I mean, you could I was surprised to learn that you could be convicted of bullying in court. I didn't know that was even a thing.
Yeah,
so
where were these laws when we were 13, right?
Or are politicians exempt?
Yeah.
Well, that's right. Though that's the irony, right?
If you're making the laws, they don't apply.
Yeah, it's
What is it?
it's
Rules for me, not or rules for thee, not for me.
yeah. That's basically. But you know, I mean, I didn't have it half as bad as a lot of kids when I was younger. But I do remember I had two bullies in my life. One when I was younger, one that was more fifth grade, middle school, and I still remember both their names. And I think I may have told the story at one time on one of the podcasts about I went back for my 10-year high school reunion and went in to get a car washed, and that bully was washing my car. So
No.
sometimes
Karma is a bitch.
Karma is a
sometimes
biatch,
it
and
is.
we do love her.
Yeah,
Guys,
and Lindsay, what was it? And she drives a big truck. Is that
And
the?
she drives a big bus, and she remembers your name and address.
do you remember this? Do you remember the scene in Back to the Future when Biff, the scene flips and he starts washing the car? This is before he became president, by the way. But there was a brief moment in the Back to the Future
One of 'em,
universe
yeah.
where he was washing the car, and it just that
And
felt
you're
okay.
like, wait, this moment has come to life. I'm living
felt
back to
okay,
the future.
So anyway, but
That's
interesting.
crazy.
I don't know. We'll see if it, they'll probably attach it to some pork belly bill or something, and it'll never come to fruition. But I don't know. I'm at least willing to learn more. I think
Yeah.
people the level of civility has gotten to the point where we're all just looking for a fight. A lot of the time,
Yes.
myself included, and I don't know. Maybe we need a little reining in. But anyway,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think you're right. Like maybe that would just be a good incentive to encourage people to treat each other better. Yeah, especially
Yeah.
the car. I mean, we know it would upset the car people. The threat of not being able to drive for a year might be enough to make you rein
Although
it in.
do kids even care about driver's licenses anymore? And we've talked about this before. The move in my neighborhood and other neighborhoods near me is it's kind of what I remember being big in SoCal a couple years ago. It's these like motorcycle style electric bikes, right? Whizzing around. I mean, that definitely seems to be where their hearts are these days. Maybe time to regulate those too, by the way. But
Yeah, I mean there are packs of those all over. I mean, especially when school's in session, it's just a constant parade of those into the junior high. I think now I am not at the high school, so I'm not seeing what's happening there. But
Yeah.
I think really the only impact of the electric bikes is that it is motorizing. It's putting kids on vehicles who are too young to have their licenses.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know when they get
motorcycle
to
fast.
16,
Yeah.
and they're quick. So.
yeah.
I don't know if they're getting to 16 and they're like, yeah, but I have this electric bike. I'm good. I mean, I know that would not have been
Yeah.
me, but
Yeah,
I don't
and
know.
maybe they need to be licensed. And speaking of licenses, Dan, you just got your.
I've
Now,
got
and I just read
plates.
today. What's that?
I got plates.
You
So
got
I
plates.
had-
Okay.
So
You have
the
a
story-
hack.
What's that?
You have a hack if you want to get your plates in a jiffy.
I do, although I've got an anti-hack as well. So the story is a
Okay.
few weeks ago, I went into AAA.
Yeah.
So
that's
the
right.
Automobile Association of America can issue number plates. So
Right.
I thought,
Just in
fantastic,
California,
let's-
though, right?
I don't know. It
Yeah?
might be everywhere.
Okay.
But it
I know
worked
it's in California, though. Yeah.
But as we talked about on a previous episode, I went to get it done a few weeks ago, and they were like, "Where is your smog test?" And I went, "I beg your pardon," and I had to get the car smog tested, but no one told me. So I went back in this week, and it was a very easy process. And I've got beautiful number plates that sit on the Audi now. But the next step, which is what I'm not looking forward
Yeah.
to, is in order to swap my Washington State driver's license for a California driver's license, apparently the laws are so slightly different that you have to pass the written test and an eye test. So at the moment, I've got ChatGPT creating quizzes for me on the different questions that I might get asked.
I think you're probably overthinking this. And if the eye test in California is anything like the eye test in any state I've ever lived in, it's a box that sits on the counter that you are able to use your glasses or contacts. And there's like a 3-inch tall, set of numbers that you just have to,
Yeah,
I don't think it's real
Hopefully.
intense.
hopefully.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. The written test, that's pretty wild that you have to do
Yeah.
that.
But I remember when I moved out here, so this was 11 years ago, someone said to me, you should do like a pre-driver's test with an instructor.
Oh,
And
interesting.
you basically book an hour ahead of your test.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they do the test with you and they tell you the way to do it and stuff. and I was so close to getting 100% on the practical. But I think if I had have got 100%, the instructor gets investigated. So this guy knocked me down 2 points, which was completely unjudge worthy, and something that I'm still holding on to right now.
Yeah,
11
he's a bully.
years.
I hadn't noticed. I'm really glad that you've worked through it and let it go.
Yeah. So he was
Bet you
definitely
remember his
a bully.
name.
You know, he's taken, and now he's going to be washing my damn car.
Karma's on the way to that guy's house right now in her bus. Come on.
And for the record, listen, we're all big fans of car washes, car detailing. It's not. This wasn't Ammo NYC. Okay, this was your neighborhood car wash.
It's not a knock on car wash.
No,
at all.
No. Big fan of those who keep our cars in good shape.
So watch this space, and hopefully
yes, so.
I will have a driver's license soon.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. Yeah, there's been a lot of that going around, and I know, obviously my fiance moved here, and then I have other family that have moved here. And Dan, I don't know if you ran into this because maybe AAA helps, but here, getting an appointment to get a Washington state license, they're booking out like 3 or 4 months, but you need to have your license to renew your vehicle tabs or to switch the vehicle tabs here.
Oh boy.
And so people who have moved here knowing their tabs were going to expire and not, they said, okay, I'll just renew them when I get to Washington in the correct state, and then get here and can't get a license for several months. And they're going like, well, what do we do? So luckily, if you are in that situation, the office will give you an appointment sooner, but you have to go in and sort of plead your case and say, like, this car is going to be unregistered. What do we do?
What's the problem here? Like, where are they dropping the ball? It's not like, you have a million people moving to
I think
area.
part of the reason is because in May this year, they updated the flight details, right? So you
Real
had
ID.
to have a real
ID.
ID.
ID. Yeah.
Well, but
Some
so here's
state-
the weirder thing too. They're still issuing the old IDs. They're still issuing regular IDs, but then when you go to the airport, they're like, "Where's your real ID? You have to have a real ID." Why would they even still be issuing the old ones?
Do we even know what the real ID entails? I know you get a little like a Dallas Cowboy star on your piece of plastic. But,
I think if you then get stopped by the police, you can use it. And,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, the jokes write themselves, or do they? Yeah. Well, I think it's a more extensive, like you have to provide more documentation to get it. But what's weird is that, they said, okay, we'll give you an earlier appointment, but we aren't doing the real ID at the earlier appointment, so you're going to have to come back for that. It's like, it's a mess.
Bureaucracy.
Across the board, it's a mess.
Someone who lived in Chicago for 20 years, I can tell you, no matter what you're dealing with, it's probably not as bad as what you deal with there. That said, here in Denver, if you live anywhere in the state but Denver, you have one set of DMVs. If you live in Denver, you have a different set of DMVs. So go figure.
What does that even mean?
If you live in Denver, you can't go to a DMV like in the next county over, right? It's really, I have no idea. I'm sure there's a reason. I'm sure there's a very good reason. Speaking of good reasons, I'm sure there was a good reason someone stole Chris Harris's E28 M5 this week, but how about it? Either one of you know Harris at all? I don't.
I mean, I met him briefly in Le Mans. We talked about the podcast for 5 seconds.
Oh, that's
but...
true. That's
so, yes, of the three of us.
Well, he said he was a fan. Yeah.
Right.
He likes that car.
He was like, yes, absolutely. I listen every week. And I said, well, I do the same for you.
You heard it here first. So I didn't even know he had this car. I know he's had some GT3s and some other stuff, but apparently he had this E28 M5. The second best of all M5s,
second only to the E39, is that what we're saying?
I'm a sucker for the what is it? Is it the E31?
Is that the one ahead of the one that he had?
No, the one after E31, right? The one that's got the turbine wheel covers.
Which was the V10? Because they did a V10.
Oh,
didn't they?
that's probably my least favorite M5.
Yeah. I think we need to get them all reviewed on the website that you.
All right, if you're listening,
there's your next series. Yeah,
I have successfully driven a Carrera GT.
There you go.
Surely you can throw me the keys to your M5 of each generation. But
Right.
I love that E28 though. That's a good one. That's when if
Yeah.
you had one of those, that was something special. And I remember the first time I ever saw one of those, I was working in a record store in Wisconsin, and a guy rolled up, and I heard the exhaust, and I'd never seen one, and you just didn't see M5s in Wisconsin, and
Right.
I just thought that was the greatest thing ever. I probably told you this story. I went up to him and said, I'm not in a position to buy this car now, but someday I will be, or, or my dad will buy it. Here, take my information, and when you're ready to sell it, I want to buy it. And he wrote me back, or he called. It was just probably pre-internet, so he called. And I've always had a special place in my heart for an E28. But anyway, he had one. Where was the thing parked? Was it on the street? Was it his house? Like, what?
Sounded like it was parked on the street, because when he wrote about the recovery, he commented like these cars are becoming, like, his feeling is the cars are becoming targets now, and so we have to be more aware, or like more cognizant of where we're leaving them. So it sounded like it was not in a garage or something like that.
Okay.
So the power of the internet was that he published a story on Instagram that the car had been stolen.
Right.
And within 24 hours, someone found the car, stood by it till he arrived.
Yeah.
So, like, to make sure it didn't get stolen.
Yeah.
When he got there, I don't know if you saw the video, but they went in on one of the back side windows. So that was the way they broke in. But a funny story, there used to be a way back in the 80s, if you wanted to break into a BMW of a certain ilk, you would take a tennis ball and you would chop the tennis ball in half. You would cup it over the ignition, the unlocking mechanism, and you would hit it hard, and it would create a vacuum. And when it created a vacuum, all the central locking would pop up, and you could get into the car.
So it was a pneumatic kind of thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did
Dan,
not
how do you
know
know
that.
This? Just a life of crime.
Well, speaking of, is this common? I mean, is the UK, slipping? Like what? Like,
it depends on the cars, right? 'Cause
yeah.
For quite a while, Range Rovers were uninsurable in London.
Really?
Brand new ones.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of you. You had a Range Rover trick. It involved a lacrosse ball and a can of WD-40.
It was a table tennis ball.
You wink your left eye 3 times and bounce the table tennis ball on the hood, and all the doors pop open.
Right? Also, I think there's a joke about small balls and Range Rover drivers, but
And
We'll save it for another show.
Yeah. That's the after hours.
right.
That's the Patreon.
Right.
Yeah. Join us on the Patreon for the off-color.
But the good news is he's got the car back. The bad
Good.
news is
Yeah.
he did do a bit of damage.
Yeah.
So, what did just from driving it hard, or?
It was the electrics near the barrel,
Really?
the ignition barrel. It was all kind of ripped out.
Sure.
But I don't know about you guys, but I put Apple car tags in my cars. Is that something you guys thought about?
Come on, Harris Monkey. Yeah.
He
Dan,
may
I'm-
do that now. I haven't thought about it before, but I have heard of other people doing that. I think
Yeah.
it's a smart, I
Yeah.
think it's a good safety move.
If I look, I can probably tell you where my GR Corolla that I sold 2 months ago is.
That's what that rattle is.
Yeah. Like, wait a minute. I saw one up here the other day, same color as yours, and I was like, is it Dan's old one?
Yeah,
Could be.
Well, Dan can tell you.
Yeah, exactly. I can tell you where it was
yeah.
a week ago, and we can see if it was the same one.
I just learned that I always wondered how those worked because, again, I will be turning 50 this year. Oh, speaking of missing cars, I've got this Genesis. I went to have some work done today and on myself. Car Week's coming up, and as we discussed before the show, I have big plans, getting in shape, looking good for Car Week.
Brazilian buttocks?
We got was it? BBL.
I have to go look good in my,
BBL in
my
under
Car
an
Week
hour.
moo-moo. Yeah. Well, I figure if I get my nails and my toes did, I can at least have that going for me. But I drove this thing and I parked it on the street, under, by itself under a tree. And I came out and, sure enough, that car was nowhere to be found. I was out there walking around in circles with the remote trying to find the car like I was 85 years old, and I had just parked the car a street over, of course.
As one does.
It was. I thought maybe the Kia boys had extended to Hyundai and turned Genesis or
market,
something.
yeah.
The Genesis boys, but I figured the Genesis takes more than a tennis ball.
A tennis ball.
And a
tennis
drummer
ball.
called Phil.
Yeah, that's the other. That car only plays Genesis on the bank. No, it doesn't. But it does have moods, right? It has moods, so you can get in and I don't know who in their right mind would ever do it, but there are a handful of like moods. One of them is like driver energizer. Another is like, coming down gently or something. It's all these like real like, contrived things where it plays something on the screen, which could be say hot air balloons like floating around, but it's very, obviously not real. Or I think one has a volcano, and then it emits a smell, which I have not yet spelled myself. Maybe it's run dry. And then, it probably massages you to a certain rhythm and then plays a soundtrack that's very much like you're on hold. So I don't know when you would actually do this, like outside of the showroom. But if you ever find yourself in a Genesis, please do promise you'll play with those.
Please enjoy the
Whatever you do, if you've got the family in the car, don't click on the happy endings button.
Please
It's
enjoy
you got to scroll all the way to the bottom.
the hot air balloon music mood. Yeah.
It's like these hot air balloons, like they're kind of going to and fro, and like, oh, please don't hit the mountain. Like it's really odd. It's like I don't know, old school animation or something. It's just very, very strange. But
And they're like, look, we can make the pictures move. Wait.
Yeah, like it's a zoetrope or something or whatever that mechanism is back in the day. But anyway.
Well, I always wonder about those too, because I know there was an event that I went to at Car Week last year, and they were unveiling a car, and it had a similar thing. It said you can choose these sort of modes, and our hope is that people will take 10 minutes for themselves when they get home and sit in the car and enjoy these.
Is that what that is? Okay.
Experiences. But yeah, when
Unless
you think
the car's dispensing alcohol.
well, and when you think about like, okay, if you can play, it sounds like you can play them in the Genesis while you're driving. It's like, do we really want people going like, hey, look at the hot air balloon as they're driving down the road?
Yeah. Dan, you sent over a list of the most stolen cars, and I know it's not a Genesis, but number 1, Hyundai Elantra, number 2, Hyundai Sonata, and then the Chevy Silverado 1500. So now
An American, bit of Korean, but there's the Hyundai, the Genesis cousin. Is that?
I think wasn't it Kia supposed to be sort of like the lower cars until they weren't, and then it became more of a styling exercise. If you wanted something a little different looking, you got a Kia, and Hyundai was more traditional, and then Genesis is just like fancy boy stuff. So
Genesis is the luxury brand.
Yes.
Yeah.
And as expensive as a Lexus or anything else now. So now you know. Dan, you sent in a comment about Supras and how they're having a moment, and I think you're right. I don't have a whole lot of Supra experience. Mine is limited to when my buddy Andy was supposed to be gifted a Supra by his father, who was a used car dealer, and we had this vision of an 86 and it ended up being an 85, which was a very different car. It was also an automatic and really wasn't that sporty, but got us through a summer, working a summer job up in Wisconsin. But is it the Gen 5 that we all know and love? That
one from Fast and Furious?
Or is that the Gen 4? We should know this.
Probably.
We have to edit this out. We're going to get our card taken away. Yeah. Like the really good one, the one that was like 4.9 seconds to 60, right? Like in, the 90s.
The ones I saw were the 90s ones on Bring a Trailer. And
yeah. Those are the ones you want.
Figures. Six figures. Like, I can remember when those cars were like 40 grand.
I know. And then there was a regular car, and then there was a twin turbo, right?
Yeah.
But they had this, it was such a departure from the car before. It had, and we're going to have 10 people or whatever correct this on the generation, but you know the one. It's the big basket, at least if you got the turbo, it was the big basket sort of handle, spoiler or wing in the back. It had this great cockpit that was, driver oriented. They were legit fast. They were really, really cool cars. There was a Targa version, right? But I've never driven one. Would love to drive one. You never see them, right? You see fewer of these than you do G90s.
Right. Say it.
But why?
Sedan.
I mean, and honestly, the Genesis is probably almost as fast, even if it doesn't feel like it. But that thing was a rocket back in the day. And why wouldn't they be $100,000, right? If Porsches of the era are that, right?
It makes you wonder which cars are undervalued, right? So,
are there any left?
The ones that jump to my mind are those Nissan Zs from the 80s.
The ones our friend Jorge likes? He likes the 90 and on, right? The 90, 91, 90, yeah.
I don't think they've had their moment yet, have they?
No, and I remember much like the Supras at the time, they were contemporaneous to each other.
Yeah.
I think the Supras were quicker, but there was also a non-turbo and there was a turbo, right, or twin turbo or whatever. They used to make that beautiful pearlescent white one. That was hot stuff. But I don't think they were ever considered to be quite as good in the era or in the time as the Supras. But it would make sense that they would follow then, right? That those would be the next big thing, or maybe they are. Jorge, you can tell us.
We're gonna
I don't know.
text from Jorge, you know that.
I know. Boys, girls, let me set you straight.
Yeah. Bros, what's happening?
We'll have to bring him on for that Jorge's corner again for 10 minutes.
Jorge's corner. Nobody puts Jorge in a corner. Come on.
That's right.
It's true.
Hey, here's a question for you. I have a friend, listener of the show, an architect, man about town, named Matt. I don't want to say his last name, but Matthew, I guess he goes by because he's an architect.
Hi, Matthew. No last name. Thanks for joining us.
Let's call him Matthew F. He just fell into an interesting thing, which is, do you remember the Volvo Cross Country? Like back in the 2000s, it was a great car. There was like a first generation
wagon?
A wagon that was lifted. It had big wheels and tires. There was a first generation. This is the second generation. This is the one that really kind of came into its own. And he was able to, but I think they made it like 2003, 2005. I mean, the car is 20 plus years old, right? He goes by Scandamaniac on Instagram. You may know him by that. So he likes the cars of the people of the North, right? So he fell into this car. It was, I think, a great aunt or something passed away. It's a 2003 cross country with, I think, 12,000 miles on it. So it's like
practically
it rolled
new.
off the showroom floor, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a Porsche, right? It's not a, Ferrari or something, which would be high miles, right, for a 2003. Does something like that appeal to either of you? It appealed to him. He got it for free, which is part of the, I guess.
I mean, that always makes everything more appealing. Come on.
And I want to check it out because, when was the last time you saw one of these things? And when was the last time you saw one that was like new, right?
Yeah.
Never.
Well,
I think you've got another article, haven't you, Ryan? You could compare it to the All-Road.
That's what I was going to say.
Mercedes can do one as well, right?
Sounds like a Volvo competitor to the All-Road.
Yeah.
Right. Well, doesn't Volvo still make a lifted wagon? I don't know if they call it the cross country. Maybe it's the XC or something. But,
I think they've moved more towards like the smaller SUVs. Maybe have replaced.
Yeah.
As far
but
as
I like those things. Yeah, back in the day, Hertz used to rent them. We'd try to get them whenever we could. I remember one time, because they were off road, there was a railroad tie on the. No, actually, no. It was a telephone pole that someone was using in a parking lot, as sort of a border.
Yeah.
And I looked at my buddy and said, "Yeah, we can drive over that, right?" And it got stuck. It was a rental.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
And then the people at the restaurant for the parking lot came out of the kitchen door yelling at us, "What are you kids doing?" And it's just 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
So good job it's not now because you'd have had that Hertz AI scanner.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Do we want to?
This is a telephone pole on the ground. Clearly did this damage.
Right. It has enough
problems. That's an old Seinfeld thing. You're going to beat one of these cars to death, right? And we did. But do you know about this AI scanner? Did we talk about this?
Yeah, I think briefly we did. But
I've been thinking about this
a
lot. Yeah. I guess if you're going to rent from Hertz, rent from one of your local, in an old gas station type deals because they must have these at airports. And basically they run this car through an MRI and then they see what dings didn't, that are there that didn't exist before. That makes me, if you didn't need another reason not to rent from Hertz, this may be what keeps me from them forever.
Final nail.
Right. Yeah.
And
I
it's
think
not,
I think
go ahead,
right.
sorry. Yeah.
The high volume locations, where they're trying to run the cars through, like an airport or something like that.
Yeah. It's not. I just don't trust them. That's my problem. I'm pretty confident I can rent a car and not damage it, right? But who's to say that it wasn't the guy before me or the girl before me or whatever? And Hertz doesn't have a very good track record of trust and all the things you want in a relationship.
Oh, there you go.
So.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, Hertz is the Coldplay guy of rental car.
Next week's episode brought to you by Car Rental Hertz.
And astronomy.ai.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite car rental place? Either of you? Like, who's your go-to? Who do you have points with? Who
No points, but I've had really good
Yeah.
luck with Avis, particularly
Avis. Okay.
Eli at Avis in Monterey.
Right.
Will he
Coming
be
up.
using his services in 3 weeks' time?
Possibly. We'll see.
What would you think about getting him on the show? Did we talk about this?
That would be fun. I'm
Yeah.
sure he's got stories. We can get an insider's expert opinion on the Hertz AI scanner.
Yeah.
Or we might need to get a representative from a car rental company who is definitely not Eli and do that thing where the picture's black so you can't see his actual face. and that way he can tell us all the stories.
Yes,
Right.
yes. Very deep
Yeah,
voice.
it's like a silhouette, but it's a super distinctive silhouette.
Let me tell you a little thing or two about Hertz.
You're like,
Yeah,
why
he's
did you?
definitely not Eli.
Right.
Hey, weren't you my gym teacher in middle school? The voice is familiar.
Wait a minute. That's my favorite,
shoot.
where they like barely blur it and they don't change the
Yeah.
voice. You're like, we can see you, right? It's like a little kid playing hide and seek. They're like, look.
Yeah. Moves around.
Yeah. Like, no,
Shoot.
not working.
Shoot.
Yeah.
It made you feel comfortable, but yeah, doesn't work.
I'm looking at our show notes here. And Lindsay, you've seen some crazy cars on the road in Seattle or
I've seen some
SoCal?
very crazy cars
Some really
in
random
Seattle
stuff.
lately. Yeah,
Yeah?
and it's been
going on?
like K car heavy. I saw one
Really?
the other day.
Oh,
and I
not
don't
the
know.
like Japanese K car. Sorry, I'm thinking
Yeah.
everyone's cruising around in like a Coca LeBarons. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
No, like
Thank you, Derek. Yeah.
KEI, yeah. I saw a Suzuki Cappuccino, which are teeny tiny, and then I
No
saw
way
another
Dan
one.
and I are fitting in.
I mean, and I saw another one that was cappuccino sized, but it wasn't a cappuccino, and I don't know what it was. I couldn't get close enough to see what it was, but I saw it on the freeway.
Yeah.
And nothing
AutoZam,
emphasizes nothing emphasizes the teeny tininess of those cars, like seeing it on the freeway.
Yeah.
And there was definitely a discussion of like, would you drive one of those on the freeway?
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
do not think I would.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I saw a Toyota Will, which
What's a Toyota Will?
it's the only time I've ever seen it, and it's like
Yeah.
it really looks like a cartoon come to life is the only way to describe it. I mean, it's got
I gotta look
like
this up.
sharp angles and diagonal lines, and it's sort of like a puffed up cabin with
look at
big
that.
windows.
It looks
Wild.
like that. It looks like that was the Citroen van or whatever that had that chopped off.
But they like chopped it up. Yeah, it's
Yeah. Look
Wow.
at that.
And the one I saw was like a unicorn pinkish silver, so it added to the like cartooniness of it.
Sure. Yeah. Look at that. That's an odd. Talk about getting in
Duck.
an accident.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looks like it's already been in an accident.
Yeah. Describe what you were going for here with this design language. Well, imagine post accident, and there you have it.
But like they do they do like a soft top roof.
Oh man.
You can get
You
a
can see the roof.
cabrio.
Well, the
It's a
hardtop looks
cabrio.
exactly like a Karen haircut brought to life.
But it looks like a can of sardines.
Yeah. It's got a jaunty angle to the roof line. It's
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it peels back. The roof peels back.
oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That's something that
it's
you don't
something to
see much
behold.
anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
The last
Yeah.
couple cars I can think of that had those, what are the California tops or whatever, right? Those peel back, those sardine tops. Do you remember the 318 Ti? You could get
Oh, yeah.
soft top. I think a very few of those in the States had those. And then there was a weird like Jeep Liberty that had those of all things.
I don't think I ever saw one of those. I always think of the
Yeah.
Nissan Murano convertible. It's
Well,
not
that's a
necessarily.
proper convertible, Lindsay.
I know
as
it's
we
not
know.
a peel back, but it's
Yeah,
such an absurd proposition that it might as well be a peel back top.
We have
These,
one.
These are $8,000 to buy.
All right.
Don't ask me how I know.
Buy a dozen.
2-wheel drive, a 1.3 liter engine,
Oh, so they move.
automatic. I'm surprised they even made it onto the freeway.
Yeah. I
There's
don't know.
something.
Get
What
it
a-
for $4,000. Here's one for $4,000.
Oh wow.
Hey.
What a name, the Will. That's like
Yeah.
the Brandon or the
Exactly.
it's a very
Do you think they missed
benign
the
sort of
name
like older
Power off
brother.
the back?
Or like
The Toyota Will Power.
Yeah. The Toyota Determination.
Yes.
Getting on, we
yes.
will get on the freeway. Yeah.
The determination.
Yeah. And then, and then the other one I saw was a Ford Crown Vic sedan from the 80s driving on the freeway,
The
and it
real
was for
boxy
sale.
one.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
you
was
never see those anymore. This used to be everywhere.
ever. I know.
I'm
And
old
it
enough
was
to remember
just
when the police cars were those, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, you knew to watch out for those quad, rectangle headlights, behind
Right.
you. It's,
Yeah, definitely. Like, I would be lying if I didn't debate getting the number off of the for sale sign just because, like, it's one of those things where you just go, like, how can you not?
Do you ever long for, like, an ex-police car of any sort? Like, you
I
see,
do not.
I know one of our friends in California has a fleet of ex police cars, and I know Jay Leno and his show has had some of these Mustangs and things, but I always thought it'd be kind of cool to maybe a Crown Vic is too old now. I was like the Dodge Diplomat that ages me, because that was kind of a rare police car back in the day. But I think there'd be something about a relatively new Ford Explorer or a Taurus or something with a spotlight and.
Those
Talk about
spotlights
bullying.
are
Think of the things you can do.
Speaking of bullying, I'm determined to lose my license for a year. Feast your eyes on this spotlight. Well, I always love that the police cars are actually like it's a different vehicle. You go like, oh, a police Explorer, and like really, it's like a Mercury Marauder or something.
Yes,
like, or a police Interceptor. Like I love that they're different enough. They get their own names.
Yes. I don't know how different they really were, but it made for a better sale, I suppose. The Mercury
What's
Marauder.
in a name, right?
Yeah. Was there a less impressive muscle car than the Mercury Marauder?
It sounds amazing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Sounds
Didn't
like
do
it's
much
going to chew
marauding.
you up and spit you out, and really not.
Meant to compete with the SS, right? The Impala SS, based on the Caprice, which actually did, I think, have some power to it because I think it was a detuned Corvette engine.
I don't know the number.
Michael Lasasso is pounding his
Where are you?
his keyboard right now.
Like,
Anyway,
let's talk
Dan,
about typhoons. Come on.
You've sent me on a rabbit trip, like a rabbit hole trip. And on YouTube, apparently, there's a first look for a new 2025 Toyota Will. So I would encourage our listeners to go look at that because it's still ugly.
where there's a will, there's a way.
Go look and put your deposits in.
Right.
I mean, a brand new Will. What's not to love?
Yeah. Probably not.
What if they did a GR
$4,000.
Will?
Well, now we're talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
You should buy one and put an Apple tag in it, Dan.
That's right. That is right.
But just leave it with the keys in it, and then we can just watch. We're like, this is a social experiment.
That's worth it for $4,000,
We're
right?
trying to get it stolen so we can see what happens to it.
Yeah.
Please steal me.
Dan, you didn't answer my question. You live in California now,
Yep.
land of chips. Any desire to own an ex-police car just for shits and giggles?
I think maybe a Charger or a Challenger.
Yeah, there you go.
Just to get people to move out of the left lane.
Yeah.
That would be the only reason.
Yeah. That'd be fun. I think it'd be fun for a weekend, right?
Yeah.
Then you're probably playing with fire, but
You're gonna go from the Genesis 90 to an ex-police car. You're like, what else do I want just for the weekend?
yeah.
We are helping you, Ryan, with all your future articles.
I know. I appreciate it. You guys are a font of ideas. Shoot, what else? We're at 51 minutes. It's almost a show, but I got together. So I've talked about Fuel Fed. Got the shirt on tonight. Love Fuel Fed. Started with this group, I don't know, 20 plus years ago, I think, maybe 15, 20 years ago back in Chicago. They are such a good car enthusiast group. They're just a great group. Everything they do, much like Avance, right? Everything they do is done right. Started in Chicago. They have a chapter down in Fort Lauderdale and a chapter here in Boulder. Or over there in Boulder. I'm on the other side of the tracks. But shout out to them. They were going to do something very cool last night. There's a piece of property that one of the guys in the group owns. It's where Zoofengruppe and other events for Fuel Fed have been held. And they were going to do an outdoor movie where they showed a classic car movie. I think it was Grand Prix with
fun.
What's his name? Not one of those classic stars of
Steve
stage
McQueen?
and screen. Yeah, it wasn't Steve McQueen. It was.
He was Le Mans, wasn't he?
Yeah. But it would have been so much fun. And then we had a little bit of weather, and so it didn't happen. And so some of us still showed up because, we just didn't get the email in time or whatever. So there's a group of about 8 of us that went out for a drink at a nice Boulder, establishment. And
That was not outside, so it wasn't weather
it was
dependent.
not outside, and it ended up, it would have been fine, but you don't want to get your screen wet. I get it, But we were talking, and pretty much, I think everyone but one at the table is going to Car Week.
Nice.
And, it's so it got us talking about what we're doing, what we're not doing. And it's just, I'm so excited. It's going to be so great. It's 3.5 weeks away from the time you hear this, maybe even 3 weeks, right? Got to check the calendar. It's going to be here before we know it. It's going to be amazing. Every time I turn around, there's some new event that's popping up or new opportunity. It's just going to be epic. It's going to be great. Are you feeling the excitement? Is it, yeah?
Yeah.
Dan, you look excited.
I wanted to give you both a challenge maybe for next week.
Okay, please.
Which is maybe go and have a look at the auction sites for Car Week and come back with 2 cars that you think our listeners won't have realized are in the auctions. So, these big ticket cars always get a lot of press, don't they?
Yes.
But some of these cars are like there's hidden finds or really interesting cars. So 2 cars for next week from all the auction sites. So that's everyone that's got an auction. But just come up with 2.
And you know what? Speaking of hacks, that's a Car Week hack. If you're new to Car Week, I know we've got a few friends. This will be their first Car Week. And they ask, well, what should we do? What shouldn't we do? And some of these events are expensive, right? Like Pebble and Quail and other things.
Yeah.
All the auction houses are there. And oftentimes the previews are very, very inexpensive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some might even be free. I don't know. They probably got to pay for all of them, but they're like $20 or $40 or whatever, right? To get in. They're very, very inexpensive. And the cars there are as amazing sometimes as anything you'll see anywhere else, right? And then they're for sale. So if you get drunk and got your Amex card,
you decide
start
you're
bidding.
bidding on one of them. Yeah.
But so don't go to the auctions, go to the previews. And they're always a very good time, and you'll be amazed at who you see and who you run into. And it's just, I think that's the dollar, for dollar or whatever. That's the best you can do at Car Week. But, and to Dan's point, there's always some amazing stuff. And I'm always amazed at some of the stuff that like, oh, wow, okay, this is auction grade stuff now. This is stuff I grew up with, right? Or used to see. And now it's like, at auction, at Car Week, right? How things have changed. So, and then race cars too. They always have a lot of race cars and cars with provenance. And
which is fun. But I think you're right, Ryan. It is like an illustration of, you kind of go like, oh, time is passing. Like, you're right. To see some of the cars where you go, wait a minute, this isn't an auction already.
I know.
Really good settings. Like, so if you go to RM, then that's kind of downtown, isn't it? In Monterey.
Right.
If you go to Broad Arrow, then that's actually at the Jet Center, which is where the Wednesday night party is. So you're seeing part of the cars from that collection. I think Meekums are on a golf course. And they've got some interesting cars this year, and I'm missing a couple.
Gooding, I think, was that like a farm or a ranch, right?
Gooding is next to the Quail, isn't it, Lindsay?
Yeah. It's Gooding is at.
I'm thinking of Bonhams. Gooding is
Bonhams.
Next to
it's at Pebble. Yeah.
Okay. We say RM Sotheby's?
Sotheby's is down in Monterey.
Okay.
So I think they're the main ones. Hopefully we've not missed anyone, but if we have, come sponsor us and we'll make sure we represent you correctly.
Absolutely. And the coolest thing is because, we're 2-3 weeks before, 4 weeks, I don't know. We're about 3 weeks, I guess, before the Grand, which follows. And so it's happened before where someone's gone and bought a car at auction during Car Week and then ended up driving it in the Grand. That's not how you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get the car okayed way before, but it has happened. Ask me how I know. And some amazing stuff has come of it. And if someday, one of us is, that much of a baller or can do that and then show up in some amazing,
when we all have cars that we can drive in the Grand.
Exactly. Well, speaking of markers of time, I mean, that time's running out. Like tomorrow is today. I'm realizing.
Yeah.
This great pie in the sky dream, I thought my life would end up.
Listen, we're going to speak it into existence, and we're all on the Grand racing each other.
Hey guys, we're living good lives. Think about the things we're doing. We're going to Car Week. We're doing things like the Grand. I mean, this is most people don't get to do this stuff, and we're Life is good. Life is good.
It is.
For the range Genesis.
Yes. I mean, I may just go out
Lindsay's been in the Land Rovers, haven't you, Lindsay?
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know the experiences that we've gotten to have, and when
Yeah.
you think about like going to the auction previews, one of the things I love is it's a little calmer, and you can just sort of take your
Yes.
time, and you
Yes.
get up close with the cars.
Yes.
And what's interesting is a lot of times you see, you do see prospective buyers there meeting with representatives from the
Yep.
auction houses, or you see them moving some of the cars.
Yes. Yes.
Last year they were moving a car that I think was from 1920.
Really.
I'm like, when do you see one of those
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
motion? And they
Yeah.
drove
Yeah.
it into the tent. It's unbelievable.
Start up. And I should add that you don't have to necessarily pay. You can register to be a bidder, and then you don't have to pay a cent. And then
That's
you
true
can
too.
do that too. So
Well, and I think a lot of the previews, depending on, especially if you go earlier in the week, I don't know that you have to pay to go.
Mm-hmm. okay, right on.
walk
Okay, yeah, yeah. See, this will only be my second. You're like a
through. I'm
you're
an
a
old
lo-
hat at
You're
this
a
point.
lifer. Yeah.
Veteran was the word I was thinking of. but,
Veteran.
Yeah, veteran. There we go. Per week
Yeah.
lifer. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I think sometimes we have to stop and realize how good we have it. It's easy to get caught up in the crap of the day to day. It's why I enjoy doing the show with you guys every week.
Right.
I can start in one mood, and by the time we wrap it up, I'm in generally a much.
You're in a
better mood.
different mood. We don't
You're
make any
looking
promises
much
that it's better. Yeah. But it's different than when you started.
Yeah. At that car show, everything is perfect.
Right.
And on that note, should we call it a show? I think we're right at an hour, guys.
On that note, always be driving.
I was just going to say we saw a lot of good feedback from last week, so thank you
Yes,
everyone.
yes.
And it is important that if you write us a review, we'll be very grateful.
Yes,
Um,
need more
and
of
if you
those.
do write us a review and you see us at Car Week, we will definitely have stickers for you.
That's right.
Absolutely.
We got swag.
Absolutely. Yeah. We really do appreciate all the feedback. It means the world. Sometimes we forget people actually listen to this thing, and so when we're reminded, it's kind of nice. And
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
was the comment this week? The
We
comment
love our
this week,
audience.
we got a text, didn't we? The comment this week was, "My wife loves the show, and she doesn't even like cars."
Yeah. I think that was from Rich.
That's a compliment of the
that's
highest
rich.
order.
Yeah,
It
so
is.
thank you.
It is. So, well, let's keep this thing going. Keep on trucking, and look forward to next week.
Right.
So keep on driving and keep on listening.
That's right. Always be driving. Always be
driving.
listening.
You think I know the damn tagline
Our
by
new
now?
tag.
Sorry,
Always be
show us this
listening.
again.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.